I recently posted a video on the best way to store beans long term, and people seem to really like it. But one of the frequent questions I got asked was, what do I do with dried beans? Well, it made me think and come up with a great collaboration, and we're calling it Bean Bonanza. Every Monday through Friday, all through May, a channel will present either a main dish, a side dish, or even dessert using your dried beans. So you'll have no excuse not to cook your dried beans, and you'll have a lot of great recipes for your Prepper Pantry cookbook. Now these are the channels in the collaboration. We have Tuliloo Creates, Hamakua Homestead, In the Kitchen with Karen, Linda's Pantry, Mennonite Farmhouse, Pike Creek Farm, Sutton's Days, The Fermented Homestead, Umri Prepper Potpourri. Well, today we're going to make hummus, but not that traditional, more Middle Eastern fare. We're going to give it a Mexican spin to it, and we're going to use dried black beans to make it. So, come along with me and see how you have to prepare your dried beans and make a delicious hummus dip. But at the end of the video, I'll show you what to do if you run out of chips and you still have dip. So stay tuned. You can soak the beans overnight. So I have a cup of these black beans. In here I rinsed them. And now we're going to put in 3 cups of water. And we're just going to leave these sit on the counter overnight. Or just cook them, because really soaking doesn't save that much time in cooking beans. And I can't tell you how long to cook your beans. It's usually for an hour or more, because it does depend on the age of your beans. So I got the beans in the pot. I've added some more water. And now I'm just going to add a little of these green onions chopped up here. Give a little flavor. We're going to put the lid on, bring it up to boiling, then take the lid off and let it simmer for maybe an hour until they're done. Be back when they're done. So while I'm making the black bean hummus, looking out my window right here in the kitchen, there's the deer enjoying whatever fantastic weeds are in my garden. One is even just chilling. Now, the time it takes to cook the beans depends greatly on the type of bean and the age of bean. For me, these were older beans, and it took about 2 hours to cook thoroughly. Now, you always hear about that other problem with beans. You know, you probably heard beans, good for your heart. Beans make you, yeah, you get the idea. And they can, because they have a certain sugar that releases in your digestive system, and it's not easy to digest, and it can make you have gas. And when you have gas, as my mother-in-law used to politely say, you can burp out the wrong end. So is there anything you can do for that? I thought I'd look, is it a different method to cook? And here's what I found out. According to rigorous testing done by Serious Eats to determine if any traditional cooking techniques really reduced the bean-induced gas, the answer was categorically no. You can soak your beans for anywhere between 8 and 24 hours. You can throw away that soaking water or keep it. You can cook direct from dry. You can pressure cook. You can cook with bay leaves or kumbu. You can even parboil soaked beans for a minute in boiling water and throw that water away. None of these strategies make an appreciable difference in the burping out the wrong end levels of beans cooked from scratch. No, I'm lucky. I don't really have that problem. I must have that right bacteria in my gut that I don't usually have a problem. But I can't say the men in my family are as blessed. Believe me. So, according to this, not much you can do. Now, if you're using canned beans or cooked beans and you throw away the liquid, you are going to reduce about 20% the amount of gas produced. But it also affects the flavor of your finished beans. So you kind of have to weigh it. So what can you do? Well, Beano does work. If you take that before you eat beans, you should be gas-free. So maybe we should all keep Beano in our long-term preps too. Drain them now. So here's our recipe for the Mexican black bean hummus. You have already prepared your dried black beans and you've cooked them. But if you don't want to do that, you can skip that step and just use 1 15-ounce canned black beans. And you already added 1/3 cup sliced green onion tops, and if you don't have that, don't worry, just put in some dehydrated onion flakes. Now to the next step. In our food processor, we're going to put our drained black beans, 2 tablespoons of olive oil, 2 tablespoons of lime juice, 2 teaspoons of garlic powder, 1 teaspoon of chili powder, 1 teaspoon salt, and it's optional, but I like it, with 1 tablespoon red pepper flakes. And you're going to mix that really well. Now when you get it out, it might be too crumbly. If that's the case, add a little liquid, either water or saved bean liquid, if it's needed for the dip consistency. And that's all there is to it. Let's add a little decoration to the dip. I have a pepper here and I cut off the bottom and I'm going to top it with this hat that was a party favor I saved from a quinceanera that I attended. I used a Sharpie to draw some eyes and of course a mustache. Now our dip looks great for Cinco de Mayo. So let's do a dip test. And you know what? I encourage you to put whatever spices in here you like. You might like it with cilantro. My husband doesn't like cilantro. You might like it with more garlic, maybe with more onions, maybe spicier, maybe not spicy at all. It's completely up to you how you make this. Melts right in your mouth. It's really good with these hippie chippies. So here's a different take on hummus, a black bean Mexican hummus. Leftover dip by hardly any chips. Let's make some refried black bean hummus. Got a little oil in the pan and our Mexican hummus. And we're just going to fry this up. Oops. And then we're just going to take some cheese. Melt that right on top. And I'm just going to flip it over real quick. Sure I am. And that's it. Little pico de gallo here. Now let's take a little cheesy bite with a little fresh. Take together. Mm. Mm. It's really good with the crispy beans and the fresh onion and tomatoes. Great combination. I hope you try it, maybe for Cinco de Mayo, and make sure you're watching every Bean Bonanza video Monday through Friday this month. You won't be disappointed. And I have the playlist below and the channel links below. So you got no excuse. So happy Bean Bonanza.